What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend.
Start that one over. That good?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Welcome, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show, along with my beautiful, beautiful wife, Olivia Spear, is here tonight. Welcome. Hello. Good to have you back, honey.
Thank you.
I know you popped in last night for a few, but that wasn't quite the same thing. It was just your voice.
Yes.
Phone lines are officially open. We will have hopefully some calls tonight. People will call in and say hello. We got a voicemail.
Ooh.
I wonder what it is.
Here.
Okay, let me listen. Let's listen. Nope. No voicemail. Well, not that I could hear. Hold on. Let's change it over. Let's see.
No.
Nope. Not quite a voicemail, is it? But at least somebody called in. We'll have you there. Talking about the Epstein files tonight. Oh, God. Again.
More Epstein.
Talk about the survivors. Talk about China and their military, and everyone's poo-pooing in their cereal. Oh, China, I'm so scared. Oh, did you see their big parade? Yeah, we did. And we also watched the Olympics when they hosted it too, and that was another time where people went, oh shit. China is good at performance. They're very much like the Russians of the Soviet bloc. We'll talk about it tonight. Liv, you sent me some things that you thought were gonna be funny, like Disney and stuff. Did you?
Yes.
Will you refresh my my freshness and make sure I have those, please?
Yeah, Disney was about...
No. Just refresh. Send them to me. So I can put them in the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, send them to me by text, and then we can talk about them in a minute.
Got it.
In 3 minutes, to be exact. Actually, sorry, I kind of took up the full time. Livia, you had some things to say. Go.
Oh, yes. We are officially back on Twitch. So please join us on Twitch. I will post in chat.
Yes, tonight's our first night back on Twitch in almost, I think, a year and a half. So we're going to try it again and see how it goes. We had a lot of haters and stuff, but we'll see how it goes. You know, why not? And we're over on, where are we at also? Where's that?
TikTok, although we're not live as of yet because we can't for some reason.
Because they blocked us for 30 days versus 6. I don't know.
I don't get it.
And then we're on Threads again too, and we're growing, folks. We're getting bigger.
We are.
But TikTok is doing really well, even though we only have like 183 followers. Anyway, we'll be right back. We'll see you in just a few. Man, she was small.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me Show. So thank you for being here and enjoy the show.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Hey,
To
Libby.
be a pro at copying and pasting these links.
No, you're doing great.
So I just posted in all chats the Twitch, TikTok, Matt's personal Facebook, and Threads links.
Yeah.
If you want them, they are in chat. Sorry for the
No.
massive amount of me posting. I won't do it again for the rest of the show.
No, it's interesting because Threads is absolutely going ballistic. I'm at 1.75 million views on Threads, and I only have 300 members.
Whoa.
But this is very similar to what happened on TikTok, where we got like 92,000 followers in 72 hours, and they banned us. But Threads, I don't understand how Threads is working, but we're not being throttled, and we're crushing it over on Threads. So I don't understand if people just don't follow there, but people are eating up the content. I mean, it's crazy. Now we're at 27 million interactions so far. We've figured out the algorithm. We've got it on lockdown now. We know exactly what to do, how to do it, how many times to post a day, what content people are eating and when. And I've broken the algorithm 15 times this month.
Nice.
So we've got it.
You've got it.
Well, it's a team. It's a team. Anyway, so that's good news. Now we just need it to monetize and continue to monetize, and then we'll be happy.
Yes.
So a little bit of news. First time on Twitch, and hi Yenny, bye Yenny. We got to get her. Maybe we can.
She did this funky meow when I came home. Like it sounded like she was in pain.
She's not in pain. She just wants love.
And then she hid behind the couch.
No, she's fine. Just Yenny,
Right here.
get up here. Get over here. Come here.
Come on.
Come on up.
Come on, you gotta jump.
Come on, Yen.
There we go. Hi, sweet pea.
All right, she's fine.
Hi.
Anyway, real quick. So one of the things that we've been doing here for the last few, I don't know, we haven't done it in almost a year, is the Documents of Freedom. This is the Documents of Freedom, and we have it back on sale. It's going to be in stock again on the 15th, and or about, in full wood, made by Percival Flag Company, and it's got the Constitution, it's got the Declaration, and the Bill of Rights. And these are the books that I've had on me for 5 years. And anybody who started watching the show, this is crazy stuff. I mean, the fact that, we still have my original ones, and it's a beautiful display. And everyone should have a copy of these. And the great thing is it's not, 140 pages. If you want the 140 page one, we sell that one too. But this gives you the entire Constitution, Bill of Rights, and the Declaration all in one book. And there's great tidbits on there about the framers, photographs, things like that, pictures of the Declaration, the bill. And it's all in leather-bound, leatherette books. And it's really a slick looking thing. So we have it back on sale at thedumbshow.com. You can go ahead and take a look. We're hoping to get some orders on that. We haven't gotten any orders on that yet, which is surprising because we sold like 200 of them. Maybe that's why we sold so damn many that people are kind of holding off. Anyway, let's get to it. We got a busy thing today. What's going on with what's up with the little curl thing? The curl's coming. Did she not cut my hair right? Do I have a cowlick going on here? What the hell?
I don't know.
It looks exactly the same, doesn't it? It does. I'm just okay.
I think you worked out and you didn't redo your hair, so.
Yeah, that's probably
But
what
it's
it was.
fine. It looks.
I'm proud of myself. I ran and I lifted today, so I got my fasted cardio in the AM, and then I got my lift in the PM.
I did my yoga again, so first time in a week. So
good. Well, then you also have your cardio tonight, so
yes, sir.
That's good. All right, let's get to work. We're busy.
Yes.
Canada.
Canada.
You guys had a chance to see the Ontario premier when he was bashing on Donald Trump. And Mel and everybody is like, this guy's a a jackhole. Well, he went after Crown Royal because Crown Royal decided to pop smoke and pull out of Canada and go into United States. Like, wow, Donald Trump said people would.
Mm-hmm.
When it became too expensive to make things in Canada, they're leaving.
Go figure.
Right, that's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
So today, Canada had some advice, and our good friend Damani, who was in our commercial, said that this will be the dumbest thing you've seen today. And I don't know if that's true, because I see a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff is dumb, and that's pretty consistent. So here's the video. And this is the Canadian police chief. His name is Jim McSween.
McSween.
It's a very,
Ooh
very,
la la.
very police Frenchy name, you know?
Yeah.
My name is Police Chief McSween. It's wonderful to see you. Betty de quoi? But he's telling citizens that if they're ever faced with a home invasion, to do a certain something. And I think the Liberals are one step away of saying cook the person dinner and sleep with them. But they're not there yet. Instead, he has this advice, and it's just as bad. And take a listen. Our good friend Damani wanted us to take a look at this tonight, so here it is.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion,
Unlikely. Well,
we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. While we don't want homeowners to feel powerless, we urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones safe until police arrive, and be the best witness possible. This could mean locking yourself in a room away from the perpetrators, hiding, fleeing the home, but don't engage unless absolutely necessary. But as it stands, we know the best defense for most people is to comply, as you've just heard, a number of safety recommendations. In the unlikely event that you
so essentially, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to do this really quick because Dennis Rosier. Now, I usually don't, it might be Rosier, but I usually don't respond to people I haven't seen before. But I'm going to, when it comes to this, because this could be a troll. And I don't think you are, Dennis. I hope you're not. Either way, we'll find out pretty quick. But if you come over here and go to the main site, you go to shop and you click on books on this beautifully built web page, you'll see the Documents of Freedom right here. Just click on this and let's see what happens. Whoop, it went right to the product. So not sure what you're doing that's causing that, or maybe it's a cookies problem, brother. So if you go into your cookies, you can get it fixed. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in chat, and now you can see it and click on that, and that should be good, or just copy and paste it. So basically what you're supposed to do, Dennis, I hope that works. Let me know if you still have a problem. Olivia and I will figure it out and help you out, but that's just what we try to do. So Liv, someone breaks into, let's do a comparison contrast between Canada.
Wait, I got management speaking in my ear.
Sure.
Yep. Okay. The number of home invasions and homicides via home invasion has just gone up 2,000% in Canada after that. After that news conference.
Did you say canoes?
No.
Canoes? What is, I didn't know, Canada and canoes are kind of synonymous. So, hey, they get up there and they do a lot of canoeing up there.
I didn't say canoe, did I?
You said canoes.
Oh,
yeah, you did, but I understood what you were saying there. I think it's right. I think you're doing just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you look good tonight.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
I just need to be here and look pretty. Hi, puppy.
Hi, puppy. Come on in, Ash. Hi, Ash. Hi.
Good girl.
So basically, call 911. So let's do it America versus Canada. So you call 911. Why would you call 911?
Because that is where it's emergency response.
Yeah, but what are you hoping for when you call 911?
I'm hoping police or someone's going to come.
Why would you want police there?
To arrest the people or to back me up or whatever.
In a home invasion, you want them arrested?
No, I would like them to be,
You can say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, if they've got a weapon, I would like them
if they have a weapon?
Unalived.
A weapon? You need to when someone breaks into our home, you're going to ask them if they have a weapon?
No.
What are you going to do, Liv?
I'm going to take that gun and I'm going to unalive them.
No matter what.
Yeah. Well,
right. If you're
going to do it. If you're not here or incapacitated, I'm going to do it.
Right. I was really confused what you were saying there. I mean, you went liberal for a minute.
So I was really confused. But
obviously,
I get it now.
I'm going to ask them if they feel uncomfortable and if they need a safe space.
I thought you were talking about the police. I was like, what? I'm so confused. I don't know. You're gonna start the whole See, why you needed a rewind.
Why do you want a cop? Why do you want a cop?
To back you up.
I don't. My
because God, that's what happens when you
have a home invasion and you call the police. What do you want? What is the solution?
Like a police officer
to do what?
To come and help.
Help. You want them to help? What? Sewing?
What
do you want them to do?
I would like them to get the perpetrator.
Oh my God, you want the cop to kill him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, right? You don't want him to have a conversation. You don't want to put him in the car and write him a ticket. You don't want a self-help book delivered. You want the person dead.
Yes.
Why am I yelling? Because I don't understand what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
How is this hard?
Apparently.
Why do you call the cop if someone breaks into your home? To stop them from breaking into your home and ending them. Is that fair?
Yes.
I mean, really, do you want them arrested or do you want them killed?
I would like them number
maybe
two.
Maybe I don't know you. It's 26 years and I don't think I know you very well. You want them arrested?
No. Well,
if someone all right, someone breaks into that
example.
Somebody breaks into that window right there tonight at 10 o'clock and they crawl in here with a weapon, without a weapon, you don't know. What do you, when you pick up 911, police, hi, I'm a single white female. And if you're looking, I'm available.
Oh my gosh.
What do you want?
I would like the police officer to get here as fast as possible so I hopefully don't have to take action.
Great. And what do you want the cop to do?
Shoot the person or get the person or I don't
just remove
make me safe, remove the threat.
Okay, fine. That's a good answer. That's a much better answer.
Or,
oh my God.
Arrest any trees that might be scratching on our bedroom window.
Right. I remember that. That was funny, wasn't it? It was funny.
That was freaking hilarious.
Okay, so now we know why you call 911. You call 911 because let's just be transparent. Pretty much everyone in this phone call, if you call a cop and someone breaks into your house, it's because you want them gone, right?
Yes.
Okay. And gone in any way, shape, or form. Gone from a metaphysical standpoint, a physical standpoint, mental standpoint,
or
whatever it is.
Property standpoint.
Okay. That's why you call 911. Now, if you're in Canada, what else can you do?
Nothing.
Right. You
can't defend yourself.
You got to basically pull down your underwear, bend over, and just say, take what you want. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So can you grab a gun?
Sounds like you cannot in Canada.
Right. And don't call 411, right? Because that's information. And I don't even know if that's available anymore. So you call 911 and you say, help. Let's example it. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. You get on the phone call. Okay. Okay.
Am I the person calling?
Yeah, you're the victim.
Okay, then you have to say 911.
Right, I know, but you need to dial first.
Okay.
You gotta make the noise. It
doot,
makes.
Doot, doot.
Did you just say Jew?
I said doot, doot, doot.
Jewy, Jew. What the God? You're a Nazi. All right. So you do that, and then bring. It's Canada, so does it feel like or is that just Europe?
I don't know.
Whatever. Hello, this is the police department of Ontario. Who's these?
Help! I'm being robbed. Someone's in my house.
Okay, let's not jump to conclusions. How do you know you're being robbed? I mean,
there is a man with a gun and a ski mask on his head stealing my jewelry.
Listen, we've had big snows. This could be a person who is just skiing and they are lost. They're looking for help. Did you ask do me a favor, ma'am. Mute your phone. Go over there and have a conversation with the person.
Mute your phone.
Mute your phone real quick and go talk to them. Have a conversation.
Invite them in for dinner and coffee.
Invite them for dinner and espresso.
Oh
We
my
don't
goodness.
do coffee, but are you a fucking American?
Yes.
We don't do coffee. I'm a good British on you.
Yes, you did.
Oh, all right. Okay, you got to come back now like you're done.
Oh,
You're
okay.
back. Yeah. Hello? Hello? Well, she must have had the problem solved. Wonderful. Talk to her later.
As I'm laying there
Okay,
dead on my living room floor.
and scene. Right?
You deserve an Oscar. I don't.
Okay, it wasn't. I thought it was a bald spot. It was just a light reflection. I was like, holy shit, where did that come from? I'm good. It's a thick head of hair, Matt. All right, so now that's your option in Canada. Mel, you're going to call back in just a second. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's do this. You call 911 in the United States. What else can you do?
You can grab your handgun or a weapon and defend yourself.
Defend yourself.
Yes.
So should you still call 911?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But should you shoot them first and then call 911?
Depends.
No, you shoot them first, then you call 911. Because you don't want the shooting to be on recording.
That's a good point.
So you shoot them first, then you go, you take a second, breathe, whoosh, 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 whoosh. The breathing Cosbys. We went to parties and people asked us to breathe. Okay, so, and then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be American 911. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Okay, you're trying to do the Jew thing again.
Beep, beep, beep. Is that better?
That's horrible. Yeah, what's going on? This is, you've reached 911. What can I do for you, hon?
My God. I just shot someone that broke into my house.
Are you openly admitting that you shot someone so you killed them? Is that what you're saying? You did it?
Yes.
Detectives are going to love that you openly admitted to murdering somebody, hon.
Didn't murder him.
No, it's okay. No, it's not our time to litigate. You've already put yourself going to jail tonight. Thanks so much, sweetie. You're completely fucked, but your hair's going to look good if you went to my cousin Valerie. She's amazing. You should go see her. Never admit you shot someone. Someone just broke into my house, and I don't believe they're breathing. I've performed CPR, and I've done everything I can to resuscitate, and I'm waiting for authorities to arrive. Did you shoot the person? They ask. And you said, I defended myself, and the person is no longer breathing. That's all you need to say.
Okay.
That's it. And I need medical assistance immediately. That's it. Don't admit anything. You don't need to do that. But the point is that you have a gun, right? And you it's not like you're throwing maple leafs at them, right?
Yeah.
And let's face it, you might have a hockey stick and a puck, but we all know Canadians can't hit the net because they never win in the Stanley Cup. So that's not going to work. So what are you going to do? Throw some harsh words at them? Throw empty bottles of Crown Royal at them? No. There's nothing you can do.
Invite them in for a drink, get them drunk, and hopefully they'll leave.
Right. Maybe you could poison them. Holy crap. Do you put it in twice?
No.
Then why does it show $103?
Okay, freaking Streamlabs is pissing me off because I didn't put it in twice. I put it in once.
You put it in twice. Bobby Richardson, thank you. Did you miss me? We did miss you. How was your trip? Did you have fun? Did you go do something fun? All right. Mel.
Refresh it.
Mel, you can call in now.
Refresh.
Mel, you can call in, please. Sorry, I did see your call, but we were in the middle of a skit. And how do you break up acting like that? Bobby Richardson, we appreciate you. Right. Wait, the gun shot them, not me. Like, yeah, it was the gun.
Exactly. It was the gun.
It was the gun. It wasn't.
It's always
Paula,
the gun's fault.
Paula crushed my gun. It had a mind of its own. It finally killed somebody. I didn't do it. Yes, Mel. How are you tonight?
I'm fine.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
Fine.
You want to talk about fucked up Canada?
Oh, fuck yeah. Anyways, if you remember back a few months, there was another police, whatever, that got on from one of the outlying areas of Tirana and said, just leave your keys on the counter. So when they break in to steal your car, the keys are like right there.
Right.
So now this idiot that just got up and went, so basically he just expounded on it and said, just leave your keys, your jewelry, your credit cards,
Your
like
virtue.
all your personal belongings, like right at the front door. Don't fucking lock it because they're just going to break in, and it'll save you some time. I'm like,
God, I love Canada.
These guys are fucking morons.
Yeah.
Like, we're so done.
Yeah,
Ontario is screwed. And like I said, months ago and years ago, whatever, that thing that whatever's going to fly over and just drop it on fucking Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Vancouver, and we're done.
What do you, Mel? What do you think? Seriously? And then we got to go. What do you think about this? As like this constant, like, I've done the video, I've done the show, right? England is going to be a Muslim country in 30 years. France is on pace, and Europe is going to fall. And we know that Europe is going to fall because they dropped below a 1.3 on their birthing rate. And no civilization ever in history has come back from a 1.3 birthing rate ever. Not once. And
right.
1.6 and 1.8 is pretty much really hard. 1.3 is like mathematically impossible. And the reason why is because the birth infanticide is much lower than the actual death rate, homicides, accidental death, etc. that takes place every day. So a 1.3 can't keep up with the amount of death in the world. And you must at least have a 1.6, 1.8 to stay flat and even. Is Canada now on the verge of that? Because this is exactly what England did. You see they're arresting people for putting up the British flag. They're arresting people who are making jokes in the United States. A guy wrote 3 times and challenged the Crown and challenged, some of the laws that were going on with censorship. He's a comedian. On Twitter, he landed today. The airline worked with the UK government and they arrested him.
Yeah.
He's an American citizen?
He was in the United States and they arrested him.
Yeah.
And they're threatening people who are speaking out against England. So first of all, I want to say this just so I can get on. Let's go fuck yourself, England. I think you're horrible. I think we kicked your ass. We have 1,776 reasons never to listen to you. We also have 1,832 reasons not to listen to you, 1,884 reasons not to listen to you. And we can also go and move into 1946 and 1972. And if you don't know what all those things are, look up a little history of how England has perpetually tried to fuck the United States since its inception. But try to arrest me, I dare you. Now, Mel, you think Canada's going the way of Europe?
Oh, hell yeah. And the biggest thing is, and I saw a thing on, and I got pissed off at the Hodge twins yet again, whatever, because they're put up a thing about Quebec is its own problem in its own. But what they've just done and whatever, they are outlawing public displays of religion. And the reason why they're doing it is because the carpet jockeys have moved out of the mosque and they're taking over the roads and they're holding all their little whatevers in the middle of all the roads in Montreal and in Quebec. And that's not going down well, which is to get Quebec pissed off enough that they're going to stand up and do whatever. But now, like, the world is like looking at them going, oh, well, now it's subversion of religious freedom.
Yeah.
No, it's to stop these cocksuckers from taking over, which is what they do. It's like an incessant virus.
Yeah.
And it's a creeping thing that because they breed like rabbits. Yes, they do kill their own. They kill their breeding daughters or whatever, because the daughters are breaking away and going, we don't like this shit. We're in a free country, but the hold of the families or whatever, and these parents are getting let off because there was another one, and the girl and the mother and the brother and father, they were killing her in the park. They caught them and they let them off.
And I don't want to interrupt, but we got to move on because we got a lot tonight. But
I know.
I want to make sure I give you the straight poop here. So he was an American. Yeah. He was in America when he wrote the tweets. But he is an Irish citizen, which is why they arrested him. So he's a member of the UK, which is why they could arrest him. And as we know, England has been, the tyrannical despots for, quite a long time against Ireland. So there is that relationship that is already contentious. And
But
not an American citizen. But it just comes down to this: is that Europe is going to fall, and this is probably the thing. You know, people are worried about China tonight, and I'm just like, no, I'm worried about Europe, because if Europe falls, you are going to have China, Russia, North Korea, and India become a superpower that may not be able to beat us, but certainly could cause our way of life to be forever changed. And if Europe falls, that's the one stopgap between the Indian Ocean and the Mediterranean and the North Atlantic. And if you have all three major bodies of water, along with the Black Sea, in control by China, by Russia, and the aforementioned countries in Europe, you're putting us in a huge disadvantage. That means we lose our base in Germany, we lose a base in France, gives us the inability to protect ourselves, protect Poland, and honestly, it makes NATO get sucked into a massive conflict. So I'm not a big fan of this, and if Europe doesn't pull their head out of their ass and start deporting these people in this country, and I hate to say it, but ethnically target Muslims and get them out of Europe, Europe is doomed.
On that side note, I've been tracking and following a whole bunch of groups overseas, and I'm going to say one thing that's going to pull, and they're working on it, and that's pulling the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, the Brits, France, a bunch of them together, and they're fighting back.
They should,
and they're taking no shit, whatever. They're swarming the immigrant hotels. They're swarming these people.
Good.
They're having massive whatever and flag waving and raising flags on flagpoles. And if anything that's going to unite all those factions in Great Britain, the Scots, the Irish, whatever, and the Welsh, who all hate each other, whatever, this is a binding moment, because they know they're under siege and they're all fighting back, and they've been doing it now for well over 6-8 months, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mel, can I show you something? Mel, can I show you something to support you in this, because we got to go. Ready? Can you see Olivia and I? Can you see us?
Hang on. Let me go back to the other page.
Okay. Ready?
I'm on my
tell me when you're there. Can you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Olivia, unite the clans. Unite the clans. That's right. That's right. We fucking united the clans. The Highlands to the Scotlands to the Lowlands. Ready to fuck up the Brits. Little Braveheart, unite the clans. Come on. Fuck, forget it. Thanks, Mel. Appreciate you calling.
Thanks, Mel.
Hey, love you guys.
That's it?
Love
That's
you
it?
too.
You don't get anything from my Braveheart reference? No?
Oh, but you don't have a blue face on, so yeah, okay.
I'm 10 foot tall and I have lightning bolts shot up from my arse.
My island.
It's my island. The good Lord says he can get me out of this, but he's pretty sure you're fucked. Okay, bye. Love you.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
Mel's amazing.
Bye.
Bye.
We just got an order for
Unite the
Documents
Clans.
of Freedom.
We did get a document, and that's good, because I was like, I just invested like $300 on these farkin' things, so we got to get these things out the door. So hey, Documents of Freedom, first one has fallen, so we have 9 left. 9 Documents of Freedom left. 9 times. 9 times. 9 times. 9 times, Mrs. Bueller. I'm looking right at it. Grace. Grace. Constitution of the United States, Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. Fuck the Brits. This is the best way to say fuck the Brits, is buy the fuck the Brits. You know what? I'm going to change this from the Documents of Freedom to the fuck the Brits box.
That's great.
God. Good night, the Cluns. If you would just lead them. God, I love Braveheart. Historically, completely a quagmire of a movie, and not even close to accurate, but so good. So good. Braveheart, one of my favorite movies of all time. Just not accurate in the slightest. You don't speak Latin. I have to remedy that, then, don't we? First, you use this. Then I'll teach you to use this. Just want to do the whole movie? No.
I don't think we have 2.5 hours to do that there, dear.
It's actually 3 hours and 20 minutes, but
oh my goodness.
it's fine.
Okay.
All right, folks. I want to show you something. You know, the other night I was thinking about this, and I'm like, you know, people were just like, the Twin Towers, man, the Twin Towers, they were controlled demolition. I always love those people. And then what I love to do is I love to pull up the Street View video and just remind people of what we saw that day, just so we can kind of throw some cold water on the situation. Because anyone that thinks that this was a controlled demolition is a fucking idiot. And I apologize, my language, I'm sorry. I want to try to get better, especially for all of our Twitch viewers who aren't on. But I have to do it. Nobody's watching on Twitch. That's what happens when you disappear for almost 2 years. But watch this video and you tell me.
Did we get on that? I remember this video. I had one.
Peterson home on line 1 and watch your mouth this time. So good. Well done, Kimberly Ann. Well done. Folks, that's some good CGI for 2001. People are like, the plane melted into the building.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Do I have to just explain physics to you folks of something that's moving at that speed? A car. You literally bump it into another car and the fender falls off. But if you're moving at 150 miles an hour, that car is going to destroy anything it hits. You're moving a plane 200 plus 180 to 220 miles an hour into full of fuel into a building that's made of steel and glass. And if you look at what this did, they hit it exactly where it needed to be hit. If they would have hit it up here,
it wouldn't have collapsed.
I don't think it would have collapsed. But this spot, just look at the inertia. Look at this. When these support columns go, all this weight's going to drop straight down. It's going to be in a free fall. That's it. It's going to hit terminal velocity. It's what happened. You saw it. It was controlled demolition. Don't get there. Literally blew half of the building out on all sides. And that's what happens. So I just wanted to remind people of that. So all these people that are like, the controlled demolition. They wired it to blow, dude. It was an inside job. You're a moron. Building 7, whole nother conversation. Whole nother conversation, and I openly admit to you, wholly 100% openly admit to you, Building 7 is questionable and deserves to be questioned. That doesn't. The physics are there. Yeah, Evelyn, I already, people think that melting steel with a blowtorch is equivalent to what needed to happen for that building to fall. And that is just a gross misrepresentation. You can weaken steel at 1,000 to 1,200 degrees. And how do I know this? Because all you need to do is go get a steel fire pit. Why do you ever have to replace the grate? Riddle me that, Batman. Why, when you burn oak wood or pine or whatever, why do you have to replace the grate? Why does the grate bow? Why does it warp? Why does it finally break? Because it weakens the steel. That's it. It's not hard. And you put an explosion of that magnitude and wiring and tile and carpet and desks and bodies. Yes, all of it. And you add that much JP5 jet fuel to that damn, I don't even know if it's JP5. I don't even know what they were using. Aviation fuel into it. And you ignite that in superheated steam. And then you go ahead and you put 80 mile an hour to 100 mile an hour crosswinds at that altitude going into that. It's a billow. It's a furnace. And you are talking about insane temperatures. And once you weaken those 4 columns, that's holding up all that weight. And can I say all that? Do you realize how heavy those, 20 some odd floors above it were? Does anyone understand the mass that was literally floating in the air. And if you remove and those columns bend, that immediately, even if it does this, that inertia will just go straight down. It's going to choose the path of least resistance. And it literally was a wrecking ball and just destroyed the rest. Oh, you know, at some point it would slow down like in Roadrunner and be like, and stop. You're an idiot. You get your physics from Warner Brothers and Looney Tunes. So you want to talk about Building 7? I'm down. I'll totally talk about it. I know what was in Building 7. I completely get it. I completely understand what happened in Building 7. And anybody who understands what was in Building 7 would agree that the United States government more than likely collapsed it. And it makes complete sense based upon what was there. I don't mind the Mel, I have no problem with the Pentagon hit. I don't have any problem with that. I don't. And there's plenty of reasons, because really the only reason people have questions on is where's the footprint of the plane? And second is the video that they saw coming off of the security station that was literally running at 30 frames a second. And a plane closing a gap of less than 100 feet, you're not going to capture that plane unless you happen to get the perfect sequence on that shot. And I don't even know if it's 30 frames a second. In fact, I would be shocked if it was a security that's shooting less than 5 or 6 or maybe even 10 frames a second. The technology back then, in order to have a camera feed record, a lot of them only shot every 2 or 3 seconds or even 1 second to give yourself an image. I mean, I can't tell you how much security footage that we went through at Hollywood, very similar recording systems. And you would see somebody here and then they would be here. And then they would be here. And then over there. And you couldn't see them do the walking because it was only taking a shot a second. So that doesn't bother me. Where are the engines? Where's the imprint of the plane? What people need to understand is the reinforced nose cone. What happens when wings shear off and when they go into a solid structure into the ground? The ground is essentially solid concrete. I mean, I'm talking solid, it almost impenetrable, because the overall speed and the overall velocity and the weight of that plane will absolutely leave a divot. But what you usually find is wreckage around the side, is because once the nose hits, the velocity and the speed and the transfer of energy is pushed through that center column. Wings shear off, tails shear off, engines shear off, and you get yourself remnants of the plane left over in most cases. Because most planes don't come down, nose first. Most planes come down, at an angle, but not straight up and straight down. That's the movies. And if you look at the Pentagon, the circumference of the hole matches up. As far as engine parts, I can show you 1,000 pictures where there were fuselage of the plane. We saw the plane being loaded up on a trailer and recreated in FBI headquarters. So for people to say that there were no engine parts, no tail set, that's a complete blatant lie. It's a lie. There were parts, but it was a lot less than you would expect because of the sheer velocity and the reinforced nature of that building.
Do you think Bush and his cabinet knew it was going to happen before it happened?
I think everybody knew it was going to happen, but didn't know. The intelligence was there, just like Pearl Harbor. And do I feel that they ignored it? That is supposition and conjecture, and I don't know. I really have no idea. I really don't. But I can tell you the look on Bush's face is I believe Bush had absolutely no fucking clue. And I have to look at him going down to ground zero and looking at the side of him that truly came out, which was, I mean, he's not a wimp. George Bush is a cowboy, and he may be an elitist and who is daddy's favorite, but you got to see a side of him that was really angry and really pissed off. And I can only fall back on the following, which is a secret that large can never be kept. just like Kennedy assassination or anything else. So I can't speculate on that. Can I tell you that there's people who got very, very rich? Can I tell you that the United States made an ungodly amount of money, and that the basis for any governmental system is war? All of those things are true. I think the United States was ready to pick a fight with anyone who was responsible, and then they found out it was Saudi Arabia and said, uh-oh, can't go do that, because the Bushes were in bed with the Sauds. And so they went after Iraq and they went after Afghanistan, and they tried to make the connection. So do I think that those two things are just? No, I don't. Do I think going into Afghanistan and Iraq was a just and sound decision? No, not at all. I don't support either. But I also have to go ahead and say that the United States is designed for war, and it's always been that way. And to not respond to what took place the way we did would have provoked more attack and weakened our stature around the globe with other countries that wanted to be hostile towards us. It sent a very clear message that the United States is willing to spend $1 trillion and decades of our lives trying to kill people. It sends a pretty clear message, don't you think? Liv?
Yeah.
Now, you once again, belief is not important to me. You know, Heather says, I believe George Bush. That's good. Just like you shouldn't, what I just said shouldn't be important to you. It's my belief. Do I have any information that there was an inside job? No. Do I have any information that anyone in the government knew? No. And nobody does. But honestly, if they did, would anyone care? In today's day and age, after what we've seen the government do, who would care? What would they do? A fighter jet going into the Pentagon is what we're saying. So, Mel, you think possibly that a fighter jet was stolen and was hijacked and they covered it up? Well, the only thing I would say is you have an airliner that's missing and you have people who are no longer here. You have flight records. Now, could all that be faked? I mean, sure, everything's possible in hypotheses and conspiracy theory. But at some point, people are going to wonder where those people were. So did the United States government just disappear that flight and kill everybody? Or did that flight never exist? Can you look that up, Liv? Go to chat. How many people were on the Pentagon building, and what size plane was it? Well, listen, you guys are going to be shocked when I say this, but Flight 93, I think that was shot down. We had more than enough time to intercept that flight. And at that time we would have. And there were F-15.
After they figured it was probably going to the White House. Well,
they knew. They squawked to it and wasn't talking. And its approach, they understood it was hijacked.
American Airlines Flight 77. Yep. It was a Boeing 757-223, 64 total. It's 59 passengers and crew, including the 5 hijackers.
You say it was 223?
Yes.
Oh, so she's basically a 737 expanded.
757.
It's a 737 model. So honey, just trust me.
Oh no.
That doesn't bother me at all. Look at the profile. Look at the wings, shortened wings, longer, elongated body. It's very much like the 20s. It holds
a lot more than 64 people.
But it was just not oversold that night. So it looks like a 3-column plane. It looks like a 27. It probably has, I don't know.
Close to 200 people is what it can.
So it's 3x3.
Carry.
200 and 295. So it's not a tiny plane. It's a good sized plane. I don't know. Yeah, I think 93 was shot down. I think the beautiful story about them calling is probably true. Although there are people saying that they were making cell phone calls. I can tell you this with absolutely no bullshit. I've made calls on Final Approach and texted and got tower reception to do so. But to make a phone call, I don't know. I don't think so, but whatever. Okay, fine. But they were in the middle of nowhere. And then they were in a free fall dive. That's what was told to us. So how the fuck are they making cell phone calls at altitude? So some of it is a little weird to me. Now, did they swipe the credit card machine? And probably, maybe. And that's fine. And do I think the people in Flight 93 were heroes? Yes. Do I believe they got into the cockpit? Well, the black box tells us they did. But there is a very good chance it was shot down. And if I was making that call, and I think if you were making that call, Liv, and you had 215s that had her on lock, would you splash her?
What do you mean?
Shoot her down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here we go. Do you want to talk to it, invite it in for a little bit?
wait till the Canadian Mounties
You want to call 911? No, yeah. You would shoot it down. And I don't think anyone would challenge that, but I think people, want to challenge building 7 in the World Trade Center, but they never wanted to address 93, where that is probably the most obvious that it was shot down. And I believe that just because I understand.
Because didn't it blow up in the sky and not?
No, that's not what they say. But the damage and everything else, you wouldn't need to fire a missile to shoot that thing down. All you have to do is just have 215s open its guns on its engines, and that thing's going in the dirt. And you probably wouldn't use a missile to blow it up. You would want to bring it down. So, a lot easier. It just comes down to this. If 93 was brought down, it was the right decision. And if it wasn't brought down by the aircraft and the government, then it was also the right decision by the people in there to take hostage that, because they were going to die anyway. And that's what you got to realize in that situation. You're dead no matter what. You know what those guys are going to do. They're going to go ahead and crash it. You're going to die, so why not just crash it so they can't kill people? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe the F-15s, 2 F-15 E-Strike Eagles went on the port and starboard side of that thing and probably just opened up guns on the engines and took it out. I don't think you would use a missile in that point. I know 15s were in the air with 93. I know that they had scrambled fighters at that point, and I knew that 93 was the last to come in and was the last that was still flying after all other aircraft were told to get into pattern or land. So the moment that the first building was hit, the second, obviously they knew what was going on and called for all aviation to be grounded. But once the first building was hit, flights around New York were immediately told to ground. I mean, that's SOP, because you don't want to interfere with any emergency type aircraft that are going in there, helicopters, whatever. So you ground all flights. Once the second one hit, they realized that they needed to ground all flights because other buildings were going to be hit and targeted. So the moment that you see a bird flying out of pattern who's diverting from their main course and they're not squawking, that is a threat, and it would be a target. So the United States would have had to break protocol. Protocol is that if you have a plane that's off and it's headed into its non-designated flight path and is deviated from its flight course, and turning around is most assuredly deviating from its flight course, and you are on a beeline for the Capitol, because that's where it was headed. The line from Maryland, it was headed for the Capitol and headed for the White House. Bless you, sweet pea. And if that's the case, the standard protocol is to scramble fighters and light that thing up. Squawk and talk if it doesn't respond. Continue to try. If there's no audio, you would simply tell them to alter course to this or bearing to this. And if the plane responds, then you're good to go. When there is no visual and there is no auditory confirmation of receiving what you're saying, you have to assume that flight is hostile. So you scramble fighters and you shoot it down. That's the way it works. Kat says, so Todd Beamer and the other 5 guys overpowering the hijackers is BS. I didn't say that. It's very possible. I think both can be true. Both can be true. I can tell you this, that the people, they weren't talking to air traffic control. They weren't talking to the military. They weren't talking to SAC NORAD. They weren't talking to Strategic Air Command. Those guys were calling their loved ones and saying, honey, we're going to go try to stop it. That's possible. And command had no idea that those things were taking place. And they could have rushed the cabin. Absolutely could have happened. They could have overpowered the hijackers. All those things are absolutely true. And the United States government still could have shot it down at the same time.
Do you think the West Coast also had terrorists on planes leaving LA? I never thought of that.
I haven't heard of that, but it's a much different situation in Los Angeles because the World Trade Center was a symbolic target. And the whole point was to have as much fuel as possible, which is what they felt was wrong in the first World Trade Center bombing, is that they couldn't weaken the structure from the outside, so they needed something to penetrate. So they needed a missile. They didn't have a missile. So they made a missile, which became the plane. So having it full of fuel and the combination of internal structural damage and literally throwing that much fuel into the center of a tall building was the perfect storm to bring the building down. So they understood that, because the first time they hit the center, their intention was to have it collapse, but realized that the structure and the outer skin of the building was protecting the internal column. So it was, how do we get in? And the plane became the solution. And although completely horrendous in all sense of the words, and I hate that I have to preclude this statement with this, but it was genius. Completely insanity and completely wrong, but genius. Like the Blitzkrieg through France from the Germans was absolutely genius. Realizing that sending armored columns moving at rapid space and putting all of them on methamphetamines to do a 70-hour push to northern France and leave pockets of maintenance scouts and maintenance barricades and roadblocks and small machine gunners in sandbag nests to take over towns. It was genius. And it something that would have stopped Germany in their tracks and shut down World War II to a point where it would have been fought inside Germany and probably would have been over in less than a year, became a multi-country war because the Germans did something amazing. It's completely insane and ridiculously ballsy, but it worked. And this attack on 9/11 was brilliant.
Somebody asked a question about Flight 23.
Yeah, Thomas.
Somebody said about, have you heard about Flight 23, a possible fifth plane?
I'm sure I have. I've just data dumped it because the truth is that once the initial hits, and folks, we're at 51.99. Last night was very stressful. I really don't want to do that again. So if we can continue, I know we're excited and we're enjoying the show and it's good conversation, but if we could remember that we're still trying to hit goal. So appreciate it. As far as Flight 23, I'm sure I have, but what I also know is that the groundings of flights, Joanne Townsend, $10. Thank you. Appreciate it, Joanne. That there were multiple planes in the air still, but all of them were en route. They were either flying back to their hubs, flying back to their origination, or their designated air traffic control ATC commands. So they were complying. there was only one that was on radar that was not. Now there were a couple of others that maybe didn't have communication at the time or whatever, but were not considered an imminent threat at that point. Now 23, I don't know anything about it, but what I do know is that 93 was the threat. So 93 was not responding, was not squawking. I believe they had their transponder disabled. If I'm not mistaken, that's another sign. And I promise you the 15s pulled alongside and looked directly into the canopy of that plane to see what's going on. And if you got two Middle Eastern people of Middle Eastern descent are supposed to be Bob and John, two white guys from frickin' New Haven, it's probably a good idea that the F-15s look for visual confirmation that the integrity of the cockpit was breached. Can you look up Flight 23, see what it says? If I remember, I'll tell you. If I don't, I'll say I don't know. Do you think there was a breakdown in intelligence community that week before it happened, where they did not communicate with one another? So Eli Crane and I talked about this. If you haven't seen the Eli Crane episode, you should watch it. It's a good episode. And, former SEAL Team 3, former Intel guy, talking together. And we both agree that 9/11 was an intelligence apparatus failure. But so are most of the recent events from an economic standpoint or from a global terror standpoint or domestic terrorism standpoint. Intelligence community has failed on every single level for the last 40 years. I mean, it started with the John F. Kennedy assassination, which was an abysmal failure. And I've said it. People ask me all the time, who killed Kennedy? Who killed Kennedy? Matt, who killed Kennedy? The Secret Service killed Kennedy. Oh, so you think it was the driver? No. I think the Secret Service dereliction of duty and not following operational security for guarding a high-value target such as the president, things were not followed. And the mass execution, the lack of mass execution on protecting the president of the United States in Texas, in Dallas that day, failed abysmally at every single point. The only thing worse was Butler.
What it says is that it is a possible, but it was set to leave at 9:00, so it was grounded before it even took off.
Yeah,
so it could
that's
never,
right. That's right.
Because it was going from.
Yes.
It was going from, where was it?
And they wound up getting
New
those
York,
guys.
JFK to LA. No, they didn't. They disappeared.
No, they did.
Okay.
That's not true.
Yeah, there was a group of Middle Eastern men that were on the flight that crew members got suspicious of, but as soon as it was grounded, they left and they disappeared.
They did leave, but they had their photographs and they had everything about them. And understand this, the notes, they went to the apartments of the other hijackers. And this is how they started to pull the threat. They found those guys' names. So what I'm saying is they may not have picked them up as an asset, but they found the connections between them and the other hijackers based upon the intelligence that they had.
Yeah.
Went to their apartments, went to their places, and they started to be able to pull at the threads to find out that they were all interconnected, the flight schools they went to, everything else. So although didn't physically grab them, the intelligence that they gained from it was massive.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I want to see this. Mello donated $51.99. Great info as always. We love you. Thank you, Heather, for talking. I had heard of that flight. Yes, ma'am. That's a really good point.
I have never heard of that flight.
Yep. I just didn't know the number. My daughter studies plane crashes. She has been cited on podcasts. When we flew to New York City from Texas, she told the flight crew when our plane was built that its history was and what improvement has been made. The flight crew was like, we don't want to know how old it is. Yeah. So it's a good conversation, and I love it. Joanne Lutman, $50. Been a bit for me. Hope this helps. Joanne, of course it helps, and thank you. It's good to have you here. We've seen you, right? You just haven't had a chance to donate. That's fine. You do it when you can. You do it when it feels good, and if you can afford it, we appreciate it. Good conversation. I listen. I don't think people who question are stupid. There's nothing wrong with questioning conspiracy, but when you put it in as fact, you got to be careful with that, because it's not like you're going to hurt anybody. It's okay to have an opinion, and I appreciate opinions, but you can't sit here and present it as fact. And there's people out there that, George Bush knew. Hold on. I mean, that's a big accusation. And that might be good on 24, but false flags are real. Of course they are. And is it possible that intelligence failed and there were people who knew? It's possible. But I can tell you that most intel guys that I've worked with want to get it right. They just don't very often. Elizabeth Hall, $10. Thank you, Matt and Olivia, for all you do. Absolutely. Ban Mark Wood. He's on Facebook. Get him. My roommate Larry Shields helped train 3 of the pilots down in Venice. He had no idea he had his pilot license. He spent a few days in the interrogation. They were taking him to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, finding bottles of champagne. Holy shit. I would love to get him on the show. Donald, can you help make that happen? Did you ban Mark?
Yes.
Okay. He's on Facebook. He just popped another one. All right. No, don't everyone reply. Just leave it. We got one person. I already saw it. So I'm watching. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to it. We got a lot to do. We're going to do a quick break here in a second. Did we have an interview question? I feel horrible.
Yes. I just texted it to you.
Okay, great. We'll do one more quick one. And so here's some videos of the survivors. These are the people, the Epstein victims. And I want to be very clear. I hate when people say that. I don't know why I say that. I want to be clear. There's a very big difference between taking a child and Sandy Lois, did you ever listen to the video of what a former stewardess made? Yes. I don't believe the plane landed and people were put into blindfolds. No, I don't believe that. Because then we would have to be saying that every single person was summarily executed afterwards or relocated, and those people have relatives. The United States government does a lot of bad things. But I think people give the United States government way too much credit. We haven't been very good since World War II. We were amazing with OSS. We're ridiculous in World I. In World II, we were incredible. But once the British got involved and started moving into the Falklands and moving into Iran with the Mujahideen, we didn't do too well. And then Kennedy, and then Carter and Contra, and then Iran-Contra, and housing scandal, the SNL scandal, housing crash, bank crash, the dot-com bubble crash, the USS Cole, Bahrain barracks, Marine barracks, Twin Towers, Oklahoma City, mass shootings, Ukraine, Bosnia Herzegovina, Syria, Israel. So the United States intelligence has failed. And people wonder why we give the Jews $3.6 billion a year. That's why. Because our human is nothing. Because we failed. We moved into, and this is what Eli and I talked about, we moved in and became over-dependent on ELINT, electronic intelligence, and comment, so communications intelligence. And we forgot the human spycraft of how to turn and generate resources from internal and working counterintelligence. And we started to slip this when it came to after Pearl Harbor. We did an amazing job with the Enigma code breakers, and did some really good things. But the human intelligence aspect got very, very weak after Greece and funding Al-Qaeda and funding Osama bin Laden and the freedom fighters in Turkey and Afghanistan to fight the Russians. And right after that, that's when we started to slip. And we literally created Afghanistan to be a Vietnam for Russia based upon human intelligence and counterintelligence and the things that we did. And then we slipped and we stopped investing in it. And by the time and Bill Clinton gutted it. He stopped funding our human intelligence apparatuses. He stopped funding the annexes, stopped funding the black infiltrators and the black ops that would go in and literally embed themselves into foreign assets and forest terrorist groups. And also government intelligence groups, getting into the KGB, getting into Politburo, getting into Spetsnaz, German intelligence, even MI6, even IDF. I mean, the United States was excellent, and then we stopped. So after Kennedy died, our skill set just went down the toilet. So yeah, I think it was an intelligence failure of epic proportion. Do I believe somebody knew and just kept this secret information? Listen, they had flash traffic. Bush had presidential briefings 3 weeks before that has been through sworn testimony that he was briefed that there was a possible imminent attack. But you want to know how many other times that happened that year? Every fucking day. I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail, but I happen to know how presidential briefings work. That's how I understood what Donald Trump and the FBI and the inventory and Leroy and I told you. Because although I've never briefed the President of the United States, I have briefed the Secretary of Defense. So we understand how things like that happen. And it's not what you think. It's a 5-10 minute briefing, maybe 15 minutes if there's a lot of questions. The briefing is very high level and it's very surface at the same time. And these briefings are hardly listened to with much intent. But if something strikes the words of the day and something is said that triggers the people consuming the brief, you might get a couple questions about it. But these intelligence briefings are more notification, and they are not, really low level type information. So it would have come across something like this. There's an imminent threat coming from Zaire, from Egypt, and the Congo, which demonstrates that 3 independent freedom fire groups and what we have deemed as extremist groups have made various threats to our infrastructure. Predominantly top targets at this point are unknown, but believed to be possibly water and electrical, and hitting our railway systems has all been mentioned against flash traffic. Radio communications are garbled at best and sporadic, but the general pulse believes that the threat of this is probably Echo or Foxtrot, or maybe it's a color designation, that these are yellow. Further details will be given in other briefings. Did you have any questions on this? No. Sir, this at any point, if you have any questions in regards to this or want to circle back on something, I'll be more than happy to do that. With your permission, we're going to move on to the next segment of the brief. Permission granted. Great. Boom. Move on to the next brief. That's it. So it's not like, oh, Osama bin Laden has planes and they're going to hit the World Trade Center. No, that's not the way it works. But very well could have been that the World Trade Center is a target, and then several other ancillary targets could have been mentioned. But that doesn't mean that that's what was said. So do I feel that they knew? Yeah, they knew. They had enough intel. There were plenty of signs, but all of the different collection and the interconnectivity that's required for cooperative work from multiple independent agencies during that time, it didn't exist. Like, good luck getting a fucking FBI request. Good luck getting, there was no Department of Homeland Security. There were too many facets of intelligence that multiple roles people were doing. The CIA was doing stuff that they shouldn't have been doing. The FBI was intimately involved with international affairs, and they shouldn't have been. So there were too many groups that were needed in order to have inter-service communication to be effective, and it wasn't. Okay? That's it. Okay. This is a video of, you can put it in, baby.
I already did. I'm on it.
Jonathan Whitley.
Oh,
why does it say
Witten?
Is it Witten?
Let me look.
Let's do this. Let's get it right. It's a big donation. We really appreciate $50, Jonathan. That's got to be a first time.
Whiten or Witten?
Witten. It's Witten. So that's a Johnny Cage, Mortal Kombat fan. So first donation, I think, from Mr. Witten.
I think so.
So we're going to have to add that and James Cody to the closing credits. Your names will be added to the closing credits. If you haven't seen it, we go back each week and we add everybody. So look for that. Here's the video. Stands with survivors. These are the survivors of the Epstein case. And I wanted to get to this. And they came out today. Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna put them together and said...
It's Whiten.
Whiten. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry? Witten would be 2 T's. That's right. So thank you for your donation, man. We appreciate it. I love the Spawn too. Jeez. Video game fan. Image Comics. Mortal Kombat. Ooh, Mortal Kombat did do an Image run. So maybe you're just an Image comic fan. Or you just happen to be a McFarlane fan who did nothing with Mortal Kombat. Actually, no, that was Soul Calibur. So McFarlane dived into Soul Calibur when Spawn was in the game. But I don't think Spawn made it to Mortal Kombat. No, Soul Calibur. Whatever, you're just a nerd. So am I. Don't worry about it, obviously. So, bingo. Good. All right. So, there's a very big difference, and I'm circled back. There's a very big difference between children who are being trafficked to have sex with pedophiles. You'd agree?
Yes.
That's like evil. MK11. Ooh, oh, MK11. Yeah, it's out of my time frame. That's why. So they did a crossover, didn't they? Did Yoda make it too? Because I know Spawn and Yoda and a couple of it was independent on consoles. That's right. PlayStation got some, Xbox got some, PC got some. You'll have to tell me. All right, moving on. So, but what if you were an adult or 17 and you were from a state where having sex with someone over 18 was legal at 17? And I'm not supporting this. I'm just asking if people can have a mind open about this. What if these people were extremely well paid to have sex with men? And it was legal based upon what state they were from or where they were at the time. What do you think?
If they're of age and they got paid, that's called prostitution, but they're still of age. So still sad, but if they agreed, then that's not really being taken advantage of, and that's not really a victim.
So I don't know. And I'm not even going to pretend to know. None of this is okay. But these videos that I'm seeing, it makes me question. Where have you been? And did you sign NDAs? And did you get paid off not to say anything? So let me ask you a question. If there was a way to hold accountable the pastor or the priest or whatever he was, what he did to me, and there was a way to hold him accountable, do you think there's any amount of money in the world that I would take to be silent?
No.
No. Not at all. No. Nothing. You can offer me $20 million. I'd tell you go fuck yourself. Not a chance. Maybe I get the $20 million and I hire a hitman. $20 million could buy you a lot of solutions, but no, I wouldn't. Right. Jay Hennessy says, yeah, going to believe the government that's been lying over and over to start telling the truth about the Epstein files. They're going to only tell you what they want you to believe. And this is where I'm challenging some things. Okay. And I agree with you. Did we have another purchase on the site?
No.
So
that's
it was just
the same one.
It was the box. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's listen to this and Liv, you're going to pay attention to this one.
Okay.
Because I've got a couple of these. Let's just listen to this and get your vibe off of it.
And for some reason, I can feel their spirit, especially Virginia's today. She would be so proud and she would be so beside herself to see this one moment we have all came together to unite. And for our government and for the politicians who have taken our trauma and have weaponized it against us, making it unbearable, making it unlivable, making it hard to move on in a life that we wish to live in happiness and joy and peace and injustice that can only come from within at this point. And we have gotten to this point. Shame on you. Shame on you for using our trauma to weaponize this moment. We are not going to be fooled by your trickery. We are not going to be fooled by the lies, by the conspiracy theories. We are the keys to this situation. We have the truth. And the FBI knows the truth. The government knows the truth. You may pull the wool over the sheep's eyes, but we are the keys. We know who was involved. We know the game. We know the players. And we are sitting here for 20 years waiting for you to get up and do something. Well, guess what? Your time is up, and now we're doing it.
Then tell us.
Well, she was shaking. I don't know if he saw that.
I don't care, right? But, you know, I believe that her trauma is real, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, believe all women to an extent. But if you tell me that you're a victim, fine. Why aren't you naming names? And this is where that Corey Feldman stuff came out. Corey Feldman said, oh, man, if I say anything, I will bring down Hollywood. And then he did, and it was really some very low-level day players and day actors that supposedly did these things to him. And do I have any reason to question him? No, I don't. And I'm not going to. But what I'm saying is that you kind of made it this big thing that you're going to bring down Hollywood if you mention anything. And then when you finally do, it's really kind of like, oh, okay, you went through some very traumatic things, and so did I. And I'm not going to bring down the clergy because some pastor decided to go ahead and rape me as a child. And though it's horrible, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to bring down the Vatican, because that just seems a little crazy.
Yeah.
My point is, tell us. What are you waiting for?
Exactly.
And why did you wait 20 years? I think people need to understand what Donald Trump's saying. And I'm not here to apologize or be his interpreter, because Donald Trump has a horrible way of communicating. He sucks. I would never want to be his campaign manager because he just says things wrong. And it's not what he's saying is wrong, it's how he displays it. So here's another video. Okay, so you got this lady gets, I know who's all involved and everything else. Now, this is the lawyer for all the victims who just said today that Donald Trump was not involved, did nothing nefarious. They openly all said it, and they all nodded in agreement. But listen to this.
What do you guys think? I know you're working on your own list, but do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein had a list?
Yeah, so there's not a list. So here's what it was. Just like you heard everybody today, Jeffrey Epstein created, through an organization that of enablers, of people that were on his payroll. It was a complicated scheme where others should still be investigated because they helped to enable him and operate this scheme. Without those people, he could not have done this. But the purpose was for him to personally abuse people. With that being said, certain of his friends, he farmed out certain of the women that he was exploiting too. But that wasn't the primary purpose of that scheme. And I don't think he wrote the names of those people down. There's not a list of, hey, here's all of the people that I sent females to.
The list is right behind you. Go to each one. Hi, can I take your order, please? Welcome to Sex Donald's. How were you violated today?
Oh my God.
Okay, thank you. Who's next? Can I take your sex order, please? We have a list. All 20 of these people have named their violators. Your accusers are right here. Your victims are in front of you, and we have the people who perpetrated these crimes, and we demand justice. We demand an investigation. These are the people who've taken advantage of us. You have the list. It's right fucking there. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for the Netflix movie? You're waiting for a book? Because here's the thing. And I'm just gonna say some things here. There are sex workers who no longer can do that work. And they may just need some money. I hate to say it. Because most of these women were not underage victims. These women, a lot of them, have NDAs, have received monies, hush money to be quiet, and were paid assets who sold their bodies willingly. The child porn and the sex trafficking of kids is another completely different issue with Epstein, that he was addicted to porn, and we were told by the government that all of the terabytes of information in his stuff that was labeled blackmail and labeled whatever was all personal consumption-based porn and downloaded. I don't believe that shit. Do I believe that he slept with underage girls? Absolutely. Do I think he provided underage girls? Yes, absolutely. Were some of these girls underage? Very well could be. But I think there's also a very large contingency of women who were working as sex workers willingly and were recruited to do thus and did it. Oh no, Tony is, whatever. Don't worry about these clowns. That's all he's got. Restore your channel, dude. Get a life.
Oh, it's them again.
Yeah. I love that he constantly talks about where my cock is. Thomas Austin donated $51.99, just spent $50 on Powerball, so here's $50 for a better cause. Win. We expect 50% of the proceeds. So Corey Feldman, I'm not saying that he wasn't sexually abused. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was. The point is that his comment was that if I say anything, I'll bring down Hollywood. He didn't bring down Hollywood. So a lot of this is used to cope with the trauma. But when it comes down to it, there is another story to this. Now, am I defending Epstein? No. Am I defending Trump? No, that's stupid. What I'm doing is taking a practical look at this, that there were multiple situations involved here of all varying degrees of lawlessness. And although prostitution is illegal, it's very different than child sex trafficking and pedophilia. That is... Anyone who is involved with that should hang. Hands down.
Yep.
You will get 0.5%. Fine. I'll take it. I'll retire. Then Donald Trump. I want to play this.
These case files.
A reporter called out and said, President Trump, you're in the files. And your attorney general said you were. And here's Trump's response. And this is based off the hoax comment. Listen to this.
Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massie, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C.
All right. So what were the key words in that when he was talking about a hoax? What did you hear? Did you listen or were you doing something else?
I did listen, but I was also putting in.
So you didn't listen. You don't be hating. Don't say you didn't listen. Is that fair?
Yes, not enough to comment.
Okay, so I'm sorry I brought you in on that, but here you go. Listen again. It's totally cool. Just tell me you didn't listen.
So this is a Democrat
redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more.
Okay. So what did you just say?
That he said it was a Democratic hoax.
But what was a hoax? That the victims were a hoax?
He didn't say what the hoax. He just said it was a Democratic hoax.
He did. Listen again. And everyone should listen to it.
Walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I.
So he's saying, well, what's he saying? You heard it. Now what's he saying?
They're trying to get people to talk about something that's completely
before
irrelevant.
that, he said specifically something about Kennedy. What did he say?
That it's like the Kennedy thing, which I don't even know what.
John F. Kennedy files?
Okay. Where they released thousands and thousands
And
of
it wasn't good
pages,
enough.
but it wasn't good enough.
So what he's saying is that it's a hoax perpetuated by the Democrats, that there's this list. There's this list. There is no list. That's what he's talking about, the hoax. It's used as a distraction. And they're accusing people who have had nothing to do with it, including Donald Trump and other people. So what he's saying is that it's a hoax. What he means by that is that it's a distraction that the Democrats are putting in place to draw away from his campaign and to focus on the things that they're doing. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they're doing. Everyone fucking knows that's what they're doing. This is why they called him a Nazi. This is why they went into E. Jean Carroll. That's why they did the P tapes, Russian collusion. We can go on and on. It's not like we haven't seen this before. This is the Potomac two-step. And people are just like, dude, this time it's real. Donald Trump's in the Epstein files. He is in the Epstein files. And so are 1,000 other people who are mentioned. If your name is mentioned in a deposition, you become a part of the grand jury testimony. It's just the way it works. If your name is mentioned in an indictment, it doesn't mean you're indicted. And of course, Donald Trump had pictures of Trump. He also had a picture of Clinton. He had pictures of Bill Gates. He had pictures of 1,000 people on his desk. And would you not put Donald J. fucking Trump on your desk if you had a picture with him? Of course you would. Does that mean that they were butt buddies? Does that mean they were best of friends, that they shared everything, including sexual partners? Maybe. But until you have somebody come out and accuse them, that doesn't literally just come out right before an election and then withdraw their testimony. And I'm not saying that there's not girls who were young and violated. That's completely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a shit ton of women who are making fake claims and allegations in the grand jury testimony and were outed for making false claims that were unfounded. And what Donald Trump has always said, including during his campaign, is, I'm going to take a look at it. He said, yes, I'll release him. And he's like, well, more Kennedy and everything else than Epstein. And the reason why is there's a lot of people who's named in these things who did nothing wrong. But you know how people will use it. So we're going to look at it. We're going to take a close look at it. They released 33,000 pages today. They released the binders. They even released some of the stuff they already released 6 months ago. And then also what Biden released 9 months before Donald J. Trump took over. Biden released a shit ton of documents before Donald J. Trump took over. So what I'm saying is, there is nothing they can do to appease this situation. Thank you for the donation, Kimberly Jergemeyer, $25. Hi, guys. Hi, Kimberly, and thank you for the donation. Yeah, Trump should be very specific. He said it, but you've got to, I hate to say this, but you've got to speak Trump. I've just been listening to the guy since 2016, and I know how he thinks. I know how he talks. Donald Trump really, truly needs to learn how to communicate effectively. He's very good at talking to the masses, and he's very good at talking to the layman, but you can't talk like a layman up there. You've got to get specific, and you've got to be careful how you choose your words. That's all I got to say. All right?
All right.
You got another one?
Yep. Do you want to do the trivia and the pee break?
Yeah, let's do the trivia. Donald Thompson, $25. Great show as always. Thank you, Don. So I'm hesitant to give this person airtime. Should I give him airtime? No, don't do it. All right, so move on. I was going to do something, but okay. I'm not going to do it. Trivia question. Liv, you get to ask it in the 4 parts and then tell people how to enter.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys a question. You need to text 276-200-2105, the answer, and your full name. Do not put it in chat. Has to have your name, and the first person that has the correct answer with their name gets a $10 donation made in their name from Mr. JD Stillwell. Nice to see so many people on. Still nobody on Twitch. I got to go see if we're actually on Twitch.
Got quite a few over on X. Good to see. YouTube's growing. And Facebook still sucks as always. We love you. We appreciate you, Facebook people. You don't suck. But if you have not hit like, if you not hit like, share, and subscribe, if you have not done that, please hit like. Whatever channel you're on, thumbs up, like, follow, whatever it is, please do that if you haven't. Let's get that number up. We're at 100, but we've got 250 people in network right now who are watching the show. We need to get that number up. We've got a really great second half of the show for you tonight, so I'd really appreciate it if
something about Disney as well.
Hey, Eleni is watching. See, so the numbers just isn't showing up. Eleni, thank you. Is it dead over there? Eleni just came on. It's good to have you here. It's probably dead over there. First time we're back on Twitch in almost a year and a half. They're not very big on conservative podcasts. So at least welcome. It's good to have you here. We hope you stick around. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do the quick commercial after the question. And then we've got a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. So let's keep it going. Let's keep overdriving tonight because I have actually really good rest of the show. It's already been good, but it'll even be better. Liv, go.
All right. What early American document served as the first Constitution of the United States before being replaced by the U.S. Constitution in 1789?
I know. Can I answer?
No. All right. Text 276-200.
They have multiple choice.
No, it wasn't. There was no multiple choice. It was just an answer.
Okay. If you guys give me money and give me a bribe, I'll tell you what it is. But you've got 3 minutes to do it. Let's go. We'll be right back. Enjoy the trivia. Quick break, potty break for everybody.
Yes.
And then we'll be right back for the rest of the show. Don't leave. Don't take off. We're coming right back. We just have to put in this commercial for donations. Merry Christmas.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations. But after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
James, that was England. God, come on, Cote. James.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? Deborah, the question is, what was the document that was before the Constitution of the United States that was written before the ratification of the Constitution? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's what she said.
That's what she's... Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound.
Child 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's
honest.
no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
He's better at
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money with help.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark doo 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 doo.
Yes, thank you everyone for your support. The answer is clearly la Constitution de la Cinquième République. That's the, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's the French Republic, I believe. Fourth or fifth? Fifth. Tell me if I'm wrong or not. Can't pronounce it. Worth a shit. Republique. Cinquième? La Constitution de la Cinquième République. That's French. Les Constitution de la Cinquième République. Yeah, that's about right. I think that's got it. Tell me if I'm wrong. The Federalist Papers? No. No, it's not the Magna Carta. It's not the Federalist Papers.
All right, let's go through the texts.
Okay. Olivia's getting really... Okay, here it is. Joanne Townsend. Eleni says that's pretty good. Okay, close enough. Good. Was I right about 4th or 5th French Republic? I think it's the 5th. Is it right? Or was it 4th? It's basically the Constitution of the French Republic. That's the answer. 4th or 5th, I don't know. Let me know, Eleni. Joanne got it right. Joanne Townsend. 5th. Yeah.
Jean Garlett got it correct.
I'm sorry. I'm having fun with the trivia from Twitch. The answer is Bible. Okay. Mello got it right. Carrie Ripley got it right. Living Patriot got it right. Carrie Spricks got it right. But the winner tonight, the winner above all other winners, is Melanie Marino. The Articles of Confederation, which is correct. 1777.
Thank you, JD, and thank you, Melanie.
Thank you, JD. Appreciate the donation. Thanks for helping us out. We hope you guys had fun. Good. We got a good show tonight. Let's rock and roll. Liv, what have I told you? Like EBT, when you hear EBT, what do you think of?
Not a clue.
When I say EBT, what about the Bible, guys? Well, we can do that, but not tonight, Eleni. What if I say EBT card? What if I say food stamps?
I know what food stamps are. Got it.
So where do you think EBT card or food stamps or whatever should be allowed to be, spent?
Grocery stores?
Okay, good. Should you be able to buy alcohol?
No.
Should you be able to buy cigarettes?
No.
Condoms?
No.
Pornography?
No.
What good are they? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What else? Should you be able to go buy a gun with an EBT card?
No.
Okay. Where else? Where else should they be allowed?
Maybe gas stations, maybe.
Gas stations?
Like for gas. I don't know if it's specifically for food. I don't know.
Fair enough. I don't believe that EBT would be okay with gas.
Okay.
And I don't think gas stations qualify, but I could be wrong. Loretta, let us know. Or anybody. What about McDonald's?
No.
Taco Bell?
I don't think fast food should be.
What about Taco Bell?
No.
What about you hitting the table?
No.
Okay, let's stop that too. Watch this video.
Oh, boy.
How many Taco Bell stackers can we eat? I think I'm going to go for 12 this time. I think I could do about 15. How many Taco Bell stackers can we eat? I think I'm going to go for 12 this time. I think I could do about 15. I think I could do about 23, just to make it even. Got the Taco Bell stackers in this bag. It's heavy too, it almost ripped. Here's my first one. Here's my first one. First one. Second one. Just finished my 15th one. 17th one. This is my 13th one. I made it past 12, y'all. I'm done with the stackers and I'm moving on to burritos. This is my last one. I don't think I can make it past 30. Nachos for a little break. Slowing down back there? Yep, I got to. After 17 stackers, I can do it. And 5 burritos. Alright, my goal was what, 23? I got 30. So I think that's an accomplishment. Mine was 12. I got 14 stackers down, 3 quesadillas, and 10 tacos. Wow. My goal was 15 stackers, and I had 17 stackers, 5 burritos, some chips and cheese, and I ordered me a 12-pack of Cinnabon Delight. And how many can you eat?
For one, what is a stacker? And for 2, I suddenly have lost my appetite. That's disgusting.
Taco Bell now takes EBT cards and SNAP cards. These lovely women just bought $150 worth of stackers before they got out of their car. Now 400 different Taco Bells take SNAP and EBT debit cards.
Awesome.
Your tax dollars, folks. To Taco Bell, of all places. $150 for one meal.
Dude, go to like freaking Ruth Chris or something like that. My God.
Well, Ruth Chris doesn't take EBT, honey. And
good point.
This is why. The look on Olivia's face tells it all. So here, this is,
and see if you
Democrats are just, they're disassociated with reality. Here's Ben Shapiro on CNN, which was just embarrassing. You don't put a guy like Ben Shapiro on CNN. You don't put a guy like Scott Jennings on CNN. Hell, you don't put a guy like me on CNN because he is going to feast. And I would love, just saying, CNN's willing. I would love to come on any day of the week and explain Social Security to you folks. See, people don't understand that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and it's been bankrupt for a hell of a lot longer than most people know. And every year that we do the budget, we buy bonds and sell bonds to the United States through the tax dollars of the Americans on the revenue that they collect from your taxes. And they go ahead and stimulate Social Security. This has been going on for decades, 40, 50 years. Social Security is bankrupt. And the thing is that Social Security will bankrupt America because it's a $3 trillion investment. $3 trillion annually. And you're talking about SNAP, EBT, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. And people are complaining about what we give Israel, which is $3.6 billion a year. $3.6 billion to get a $6 billion intelligence apparatus. Ben Shapiro tries to explain it to these nitwits, but they don't understand. Watch this.
Which brings us back to the age-old debate. When should you retire? Ben, you're going to be kicking at 69 years.
Never. You should never retire because you die right after. Should you retire? Are we going to retire ever?
I don't think we're going to retire to sit on our rocking chairs and watch the sunrise and sunset.
I think tell them what we want to do.
We want to get an RV.
Big bus.
A big bus. And take the dog and possibly the cat, depending on if she's still around. And travel the country and do a show in a different place every night. It's kind of the we've been wanting to do that for before we even had the show. We said when the kids all moved out of the house, we wanted to travel all around in an RV and just before the kids settle down and have kids of their own, because that's when I become grandma and that's when I want to be near the kids.
Kat says, no, SNAP food is only if you have cash on your EBT. You can use the cash for fast food. Wow. Well, Taco Bell now takes it. And that's unbelievable to me. That's shocking. Yeah. Here's the rest of this. And yes, that's what we want to do. And that's working, and we want to continue to do it. Here's the video.
Well, I mean, the life expectancy, if you make it to 65 and you're a dude, is now 83. So the real question that I was asking is, when should the government pay you to retire? Which is a sort of a different question than when should you retire. When you should retire is sort of a personal question, and also depends on your definition of retirement. I don't think that, if your goal is to be 65 and sitting on a beach for the rest of your life doing nothing, that the social science tends to say that's not very good for you. You actually should be involved in your community and get involved and still have a side job and all the rest of that. But if we really believe that we can't raise the retirement age and we're never going to change that, we will go bankrupt. And all the talk about cutting at the margins, whatever Doge is doing, that's not going to touch the real driver of the systemic debt in the United States.
Immediately, look at Van Jones, look at the Democrats. They're all smirking that Social Security will make us go bankrupt. They have absolutely no idea how much Social Security is annually for our country. They have no clue. They cannot even conceptualize how most of our debt is accumulated by social services. When you look at Medicare, Medicaid, and you look at Social Security, you look at welfare, you look at WIC, and you also look at the defense budget, absolutely. It makes up like 78% of our budget. But surprisingly enough, our defense budget isn't even a third. Our defense budget is $895 billion. It's a little bit under $1 trillion. Social Security alone is pushing $3 trillion. So listen to Ben try to educate this panel. But Van Jones is just like looking at Ben going, you foolish Jew.
Women are living to 85 if you make it to 65. Men are living to 83 if you make it to 65. That's 20 years on the public dime.
When you're talking about, hold on, when you're talking about the government paying, you're talking about Social Security,
Yes.
which is people's money.
Well, it is.
That's-
Well, it is not the money you paid in.
It
is not.
Yeah, it's the system that they pay into.
Well, no,
so you're
you-
calling.
Okay. Yes, but believe me, I pay a lot. In
I
my
know, I
Social
pay into Social Security. I don't know about
I promise you,
but-
the amount that people are taking out is not the amount that is going in, which is why we are going bankrupt.
Okay, but it's not the government just handing out a blank check.
No, it's the government
It
borrowing.
is not the money from your paycheck. That is not true. And that's the problem, Alex. And I've trying to explain it to people for years now. Ben is going to explain it to you. If it's not enough to supplement how much you're going to get back for 20 years. You retire at 65 and you look how much you put in. Hit not now on that. You look how much you put in versus how much you're going to get back. And some people are a couple thousand, some people are 1,200. I think we're at the max because I made pretty good money and paid into my Social Security and maxed it out. But whatever it being for 20 years, $3,000 a month, say, even say $1,500, and you're talking about $20,000 a year for 20 years. That's a lot. I'm talking $400,000. Did you put $400,000 in Social Security? Absolutely not. There's no way you put in $400,000. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Alex, I understand. Give you the check. Yes, but that's why it's bankrupt. And the reason why is that Social Security, you get a COLA increase, but it's not enough to keep up with it. And it was a scheme that was never going to work. And the government subsidizes it every single year. Listen to what I said with the budget. They sell themselves bonds. And they buy them from your money. So they don't put it in the appropriations bill that says this is to fund Social Security. The government buys bonds worth trillions, billions. But over a decade, over 5 years, it's in the trillions. They take that bond money and then they go ahead and take that cash and stimulate Social Security. It's been bankrupt forever. So even if you're making $1,000, $12,000 a year, that's $120,000, that's $240,000. You haven't put $240,000 into Social Security your entire life. There's no way.
They max it out. That's the thing.
I get maxed out. We wouldn't pay Social Security till after August. Once August hit, my Social Security was maxed. I'm at the highest threshold possible for Social Security. There is nothing else I can do. If I don't work another day for a corporation for the rest of my life, my Social Security is still maxed. But you should be upset. You should be frustrated. You should be pissed. I'm with you. I'm not challenging you. I'm just trying to tell you what Ben's telling you. What I've been telling you for 5 years is that everyone says we paid into it. It's our money. Your money's not there. Your money is paying what happened 20 years ago. That's the problem. Cost of living has gone up. The COLA adjustments that they make aren't the same. So the valuation of what a dollar was worth in 1960 is not the same as what it is today. But the people who were paying in 1960 weren't paying what you were paying. The people in 1960 were giving $100 to $200 a month or every 6 months to Social Security. Now we're giving thousands. But those people are retiring now and collecting thousands, even though they paid hundreds.
Where did Social Security come up with?
And this is a long conversation. And hold on. And soon, the people who are paying thousands are going to be collecting tens of thousands. And the people who were paid tens of thousands are going to be collecting hundreds of thousands. This is why it's impossible to keep up with. Let's let him finish, and I'll tell you all about Social Security. Okay?
Money to pay,
well,
you pay in X dollars and then you get multiple times X dollars when you retire. That is how the system works. It is not a lockbox. This is what Al Gore was arguing about in 2000.
The other part of this, though, is at 65, right? I mean, yeah, you might be in great health, But many people are working hard jobs. They're on their feet.
It depends on what job.
I'm not saying for working back-breaking labor, and your leg is falling off, that you should be.
I mean, by the way, I just totally reject what you just said about how we're going bankrupt due to Social Security. Really, you don't think like the trillions of dollars we've spent on wars in the Middle East might have something to do with that?
It is not even
our
remotely
national
a percentage
debt.
what we spend on Social
our
Security.
national debt shot up significantly after 9/11, after we started invading countries in the Middle East.
You should look at a chart of
now we're at
national
30.
debt. In 2008,
we're spending
it went
hundreds of billions of dollars on Israel, on Ukraine. I mean, honestly, these foreign conflicts have a lot more to do with our national debt as
hell
opposed
they do,
to
but
us
No, they
paying
don't.
Social Security.
No, they don't. They're a
bigger portion
pittance.
of our budget than Social Security, Medicare,
I think we
Medicaid.
spend way too much money on
just asking as a
military
mathematical
aid
numbers
for foreign
thing.
countries.
You think
Absolutely.
Israel is more
Do
than
you
Social
think
Security?
that Social Security is more of an issue compared to how much money we just shell out for
Yes.
conflicts
As a
abroad?
matter of
From a fiduciary, yes.
Both entitlements and defense
Wait, what did he
are,
say? Sorry,
are
I
a
was
big
talking.
issue.
On
as a
military
mathematical
aid for
numbers
foreign
thing.
countries.
You think
Absolutely.
Israel is more
Do
than
you
Social
think
Security?
that Social Security is more of an issue compared to how much money we just shell out for conflicts abroad?
As a matter of expenditures and math, yes.
Yes, expenditures and math, or from a fiduciary's responsibility. Absolutely, it's a bleeding sieve.
Both entitlements and defense are a big issue. I actually think Ben has a point here. I think that the
'Cause he's
nature
right.
of aging has changed. I think retirement is evolving. I mean, my husband is 71 years old. He's still writing books. I'm 55. I hope to work for another 15 years at least. But I do think it depends on the kind of job you do. And
Okay. Nobody is saying that you have to go and work in a coal mine till you're 70. You can be a greeter at Walmart. Maybe go work at a fly shop. Maybe you open up a small business and I don't know, but making money is not hard in this country. You just have to adapt. And you have to find out what you can do. Olivia is a prime example of this. Was working in a corporation and wound up saying, nope, I'm going to go work on my own, and makes more money than she was at the corporation, right? And doing the same level of work. My point is, I understand there's people with ailments. We're not talking about that. SSI, medical disability, I completely understand that, but that's not everybody. We're talking about 65 years old. I'm going to be 65 in 14 years. There is no way I will be ready to retire in 14 years. I'm in too good a shape for that. There's no way I'll retire. I'm probably not going to retire until I'm 75. I'll stop doing the podcast at 75, and we'll be doing something else besides this podcast when the kids leave. We're still going to do politics and stuff, but we want to do it on the road. We want to get in an RV. We want to drive during the day and night, and then park and start doing interviews with everyday Americans and doing a podcast by a fire. And that's what we want to do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another shift, and nobody's doing that right now. And that's a great idea. Go travel America, see the world, and interview people, everyday Americans, and talk about the latest and greatest stuff. And when nobody wants to talk about it in the RV park, well, then we'll just talk. We don't have a problem doing that because Olivia sits there and listens to me because I won't shut the hell up. Your thoughts on this, Livy? Anything else?
Yeah, Social Security is definitely a scam. I mean, what's...
You just put that in. I can't.
I know, sorry. I thought
I'll
we
do
were
it.
done.
In the name of Liz, I'll leave that part there. She watches occasionally. She doesn't like the show because we support the rapist and pedophile. Ha ha ha. Love you, Liz. Paul Rivera, $21.10. But Paul, can you please tell Liz that he's not a rapist? He's not convicted of rape. He's never been accused of rape from a criminal standpoint. And any accusations that he did as an adjudicated rapist were proven false. The only person who's ever accused Donald Trump of rape, three. There was a 14-year-old, and she withdrew both elections in 2016 and 2022 and never showed up for the interview. E. Jean Carroll, who was proven absolutely false that he did not rape. And then the judge, after the jury came in and the judge made the decision and marked the case documents that he did not find him guilty of rape, then went ahead and said in front of the cameras, oh, well, just in all intents and purposes, he raped her. All of that's false. So he's not a rapist. He was tried civilly, which means that he is responsible and culpable for the money, but he's not criminally convicted. He's never been arrested. He's never been criminally accused. So Liz is just full of shit. Sorry, Liz. And then a pedophile, it's even worse. I mean, he's never been accused of sexually assaulting anyone except that 14-year-old who made that claim and then withdrew it twice. I don't know what to tell you, Liz. I'm sorry. But you lefties need to stop having sexual homoerotic fantasies of Donald Trump and dreams of pedophilia. It's not healthy. In fact, you're probably clinically fucking sick. You've got some problems. You're kind of sick. If you're just all you think about is rape and pedophilia, and that's all you guys have, is all you talk about. Rape, pedophilia, Nazi, racist, xenophobe. And all you do is just take the talking points of CNN, and you have no accountability for what you've learned. Knowledge is an acquired process, and it's done through a lot more of trials and tribulations than you simply just regurgitating talking points, surface level stuff without having any idea what you're talking about. That's extremely dangerous and disingenuous. So I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you that you just literally think about rape and pedophilia all day. You need some fucking Prozac. There's so many things wrong with Trump, but these liberals have to make stuff up about him, which is insane. Right, hit him on the stuff that he's absolutely. I hit him on the vaccines. I hit him on J6. I hit him on the stolen election. I hit him on his response to COVID. I hit him on the way he's handled Epstein. I'm going to hit him on the things but you know what? For everything I hit him on, I got 10 things that I can sing his praises on. That's all.
Social Security is, yeah, you're right. It's a scam. I mean, that's the government thinking that they can spend your money better than you can. Can you imagine if it was never started and people actually had to plan for their own retirement? People don't plan for their retirements because they rely on Social Security. That's why older people, some are, if the government would just let us be and plan our own, and then people can retire when they want to retire. It's like, what happens if you've got money and you want to retire at 45? Great. If you want to retire at 85, great. But you've got your own money and you've planned for it yourself.
Yeah.
So I think it's just ridiculous that they.
I mean, if we even get it, I mean, everyone gets mad at me when I say I've maxed out my Social Security. Must be nice. Yep, I'm not going to see any of that, and I'm paying for yours. If you guys knew what I paid into Social Security, I think you would shit the bed. You have the amount of money that Olivia and I have had to pay in taxes in the last 15 years is unbelievable.
The raise for the last 4 months of the year was extremely nice that we didn't have to pay Social Security when I wasn't working, since he was the only paycheck. And that raise was very nice. But then when the first of the year came around, we had to compensate. We had to compensate for that.
8 years Obama hit us. 8 years we paid taxes, and Donald Trump's the only one we haven't had increased taxes on.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca, I don't know what that means. It's like C3PDOs.
I don't know.
Are you trying to say pedos and you're afraid to get banned? I look at it this way: if you don't have the conviction to say it, then what you're saying probably isn't right. See, I always challenge that. Is we would talk about COVID, and they hated us talking about it, but we wound up being right. When we talked about the election and said it was unconstitutional, not stolen, we never got banned for that because it was right. We never got banned during COVID for those things. So if you have to change the way something's said, so you break the algorithm and the machines that track you for saying stuff, then you probably shouldn't be saying it to begin with. That's just my gut. But what do I know? Yes, Evelyn says, what I paid was in my mom's retirement. Yes, that's true. Hey, Joel, good to see you, buddy. Chuck says, I don't need Social Security, but a deal is a deal. Well, that's why you're going to send it to us each month. We appreciate that. Hey, we need to figure out when you're coming out, bud. We're not going to have the concert because it did financially, it didn't make any sense. So would love to get with you maybe tomorrow or whenever you have a chance. And would love to figure out when you're coming out. Okay. Yes. Here is, see the disgraced Stephen Colbert, who doesn't have, he is dead man walking. This is what they did last night on his show and what his audience said. Remember, these are the people who are waiting for Donald Trump to die. First, they tried to jail him. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to set him up. They tried to murder him. And now they're just waiting for him to die.
I came back. When I came back in the office, I was shocked to learn that this weekend, the biggest story was frenzied social media rumors speculating whether Donald Trump had died. For the record, Donald Trump is very much alive, okay? And no, we like our presidents alive. Donald Trump is very much alive, and this whole crazy rumor started simply.
Whoops. Uh-oh. What do we got going on, Liv? How's the internet?
Fine.
Just a glitch?
Might just be a glitch.
When I came back in the office, I was shocked to learn that this started simply because Trump had 0 events on his schedule Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And one of the only signs that he might still be around was music in the Rose Garden, which the White House confirmed was the president's music. Which I gotta say is not the strongest proof of life. Yes, nurse, I do see that flat line, but the patient is clearly alive because his iPhone is playing Papa Loves Mambo. Papa Loves Mambo. Anyway.
God, that guy's just not funny. So your thought process, thank you. Your thought process is that because Donald Trump took time off for Labor Day, that he's dead.
I'm wondering why I never once heard from the left that Joe Biden was dead, considering he took off like 60% of each year he was in office.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy was on perpetual vacation. And even when he was there, he was still on vacation. Eleni says, school needs to teach real skills you can use in real life. I'm going to be hated for saying that through. Last time I said it, someone said kids need general intelligence too. General intelligence is an applied education and usually comes from experiential learning. General intelligence is kind of an oxymoron when you think about it. Intelligence is not general. The action of making oneself studious and knowledgeable is a process. And it's not something that happens by accident. It's an intentional process. So saying general intelligence is already been named as general knowledge, general understanding, with very little investment, which would be to not jump off a cliff, would be general knowledge. To not sleep with a prostitute with a dagger tattoo unless you have a condom, general knowledge. Not to jump in front of a moving train. All of these things would be, you could look with common sense and have very little practical knowledge and figure out is probably not a good thing to do. I don't believe in general intelligence. I think people are either intelligent or they're not. But they can get there if they remove as much ignorance from their life as humanly possible. So I don't consider intelligence an IQ. I don't consider intelligence to be that you can recite facts. I consider intelligence that you are self-aware and that you're learning agile. And a college degree and good grades mean nothing for those two things, self-awareness and learning agility. If you can learn from your mistakes and understand what your shortcomings are and how to leverage your strengths to help your inequities, then a level of intelligence will be achieved simply because of by osmosis, the results that you produce. So when people say, I'm not smart, I'm not intelligent, it frustrates me. It's like when people say I'm not creative. I can't draw. I can't act. I can't play piano. Yes, but have you tried to play piano? Have you tried to draw? Yes, I did it for 3 months and I quit. Well, then how long did it take you to learn how to walk? How long did it take you to learn to drive a car? How long did it take you to jump out of a plane? You haven't put in the work. You haven't put in the sweat equity in order to claim yourself as either good or bad, because everybody has some level of creative skill. Whether you're good at it or not, it depends on how much you practically apply the skill set and get better at it. You know what I mean? teaching children that, I would rather, instead of teaching STEM in the first 5 years of school till 5th grade, is I would love for them to learn learning agility, self-awareness, team build and inspire, managerial courage, drive for results. Teach them how to have a willingness to accept failure as a teaching moment, and then release STEM on them. And explain to them how to win. Show them these skill sets. Put them in challenge situations that do team building exercises to learn how to work cohesively with others. And that competition and failure is not a bad thing. But what we do is we put children in situations, and not grade 1 through 5, like at 2 to 3 years old, I would put them in some form of competition. That's what we did with Ethan. Put him in karate, put Hayden in gymnastics, and taught her how to follow instruction and fail and make mistakes and use perseverance to get through it. But we expect people to be intelligent with very little sweat equity into whatever they're trying to master. And I think it's a mistake. And we're setting kids up to failure because we don't teach them how to win, but we demand that they win. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree. I mean, I think a lot after teaching at the Montessori school and 200 plus hours of education of the Montessori school and the Montessori education, I really wish I would have known some of the stuff when we were kids.
And that's what Montessori schools do, right?
Montessori is all about individuality and learning how to be independent on yourself and not on others at a very, very young age. And that daily things that you do every day can be fun. Like our toys were a mop and a broom and a cleaning spray.
Teaching women right.
There were boys in my class too.
Yeah, but those tools were so they could hand them to the girls. Distribution of workloads, delegation of authority. Go ahead.
Yes, I said that. But it's also about the main thing is, I know. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's called, learning concentration. And it's when the child is doing something. A lot of people, parents and teachers, they want to come up, the kid's right in the middle of doing something and focusing and concentrating. What are you doing there, Bobby? What's this? How are you doing this? And they break the concentration. Right. And then the kid loses focus and the kid loses wanting to do this as opposed to working on this. I saw 2-year-olds working on something for 30 minutes straight without getting up, without one of us having to come over and help them. They just took down an activity and sat down and did it. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing when you let a child do something and experience it, what they can do and how resilient they are and how intelligent and smart they are, and letting them learn on their own. But in today's day and age, kids are just inundated with information and constant talking and constant people and bombardment of this. And then they're not left to be bored and they're not left to their own devices. And when they finally are alone, they don't know how to cope. They can't cope with being alone. They can't cope unless somebody is telling them what to do.
They need stimulus too.
Unless somebody is stimulating them, unless somebody is telling them what to do. And that's where phones and tablets come in. But being bored is amazing for a child because it makes them think. It makes them use their imagination. It makes them open up creativity and makes them rely on themselves for entertainment.
Then they make the right decisions.
Exactly. And it's just, that's what Montessori is all about. And I'm absolutely amazed. And it's also about not hands-on parenting. And I really wish I would have known some of this stuff when my kids were little, but I learned it now and I take it into my nannying with my kids and I let them kind of do their own thing. And there are times I stand back and I've got a 20-month-old and a 19-month-old and I let them do their own thing and I let them fall and I let them drop stuff and they learn. And it's just, people just don't think kids are resilient enough to learn and that they need to be in a bubble and they need to be protected.
Well, they've been programmed to think that one thing can ultimately shape their entire adulthood. One negative experience can just destroy them. And that's the hippie philosophy of, having them come into a birthing environment that's very soft and soothing and non-confrontational. Man, my mom, from what I heard, scream her fucking head off and like grab the nurse by the throat when I came into this world. I think we set kids up for failure when we believe that one experience will destroy their lives.
They need those negative experiences.
Of course they do. They need rejection. Yes.
They need rejection. They need to learn how to deal with it. They need to not have to be able to take a test 10 times. They need to know what failure is all about, because you're not going to know what winning is if you don't know what failing is.
Eleni made a good point. She also really appreciating your contributions, Eleni. And your intelligence can basically double if you get rid of your ego. I don't think your ego, and I'm not arguing with you here. I agree with you. I think humility and affability are important. If people don't like you, then you will be unable to impact their thought process. You can't change people's minds. There's no such thing. If I could do that, I'd be a multi-billionaire. But people, if they don't like you, if they can't find value in what you say, more importantly, is because they don't find value in as a person. So ego isn't always the most important thing. I'm egotistical. I've always been egotistical, but I've been a studious learner for most of my life. And there will people who will come on the show and I'll listen to them. There's the train guy who calls in. I don't know anything about trains, and I learn a lot from it. Well, I know a little, but not like him. So I try to listen to other people, but always being right is possible, even with ego. And I'm going to challenge your thought process, because if you change one thing about yourself, you're able to go ahead and keep your core strengths. Maybe you're overused, as in Myers-Briggs and mental equivalency to emotional equivalency, or EQ, IQ, that you can use one thing to always overcompensate the affable qualities of yourself and underperform the things that are overcompensations. So for mine is egotism and sense of urgency. I'm all about, let's get it done now. Don't wait. Now, today, this minute, now. We do it now. And Olivia drives her crazy. She wants to kill me half the time. But if you can ensure that you don't use opinion as fact, and you only use incontrovertible evidence, exculpatory evidence on all of your comments, and I think this is what you're saying, I think you're miscuing egotism for shutting up when you don't know what you're talking about. And that's probably, we're saying the same thing. But I changed that just a little bit by saying the following. If you believe something, I don't care what you say. And not from I don't care because you're unimportant. It's that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. But the moment that you say this is fact, the moment you say this is real, that's where ego gets in the way. And I agree with you there. And I have built a show and argued with people to the point where they want to kill me because I'm basing it on fact. And sometimes fact changes. Sometimes we get information. So it's understanding the difference between emotional arguments and factual, EQ, IQ. So I think you can still be egotistical. You can still be conceited. You can still be arrogant, but be an astute listener at the same time. Scott Jennings is a perfect example. Bill Maher is a perfect example. Mike Rowe is probably one of the most passive-aggressive human beings on the planet, who shows no emotion, but can tell you to fuck off and you have no idea he's saying it. Those are my examples of being egotistical, but still being studious learners of the human psyche, of facts, of the unknown. They are purveyors of the aforementioned. Good conversation. Ginger says, I'm so sorry my mother never taught me how to do a lot of things. But
there's a big conversation going on.
But that's self-awareness, right? You know that. And Olivia has overcome that in her life. Olivia knew very little when we met and has really dedicated herself to becoming a learner. And she's hot.
That's all I need in life is to be hot, apparently.
It's true. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to do one other thing. We're going to talk about China, and I want everyone to relax. This video might unnerve you. Don't let it unnerve you. Elaine, you also mentioned the left. If you would read a book for me, I'd really greatly appreciate it. It's from a good friend of mine. His name is T.S. Dixon. It's right over Olivia and I's head. It's right down the middle. And it's okay. Oh, wait, don't move it. It's in the perfect spot. Hold on. There it is.
Here it is.
And it's called The Woke Mind Viruses. Make sure it's plural. And it's by T.S. Dixon. You can get it on Amazon in audio. You can get it in digital format or in hard copy. And if you're really nice, I'll let him sign it for you. But he is a good friend of mine. And it essentially is a breakdown all the way from Nietzsche and Voltaire. It goes into Darwinism and goes into Michelangelo, Da Vinci. It brings it into modern day, from the Bolshevik Revolution to the Maoists, to Saul Alinsky, Che Guevara, Lenin, Stalin, the French Revolution, the Age of Enlightenment. And it brings in leftism, and how ultimately when Darwin challenged the religious churches and infrastructures inside most of society, they replaced it with evolution. And they needed to replace that with secularism that they were pushing with some other form of belief. And that's where the belief of science came into, and evolution, and the constant push to remove enlightenment from people. And it goes through an incredible journey of hundreds of years of leftism and the principles that have just destroyed America. I would really recommend that you have a chance to read it. It's one of my favorite books. I've constantly dive into it and read it, and you should too. It's really good. Going back to China, here is the China military parade. And this is why I was kind of against Trump doing his, is because I knew China was going to go ahead and do this and use it as propaganda against the U.S., and they have. Because China's very good at this thing. But I'll explain it to you in a second. Here it is. So it's impressive. I've got some other ones. I mean, I've got an hour 30 of these, and trust me, when I say it's impressive, it is. From their stealth hourcraft, I mean, this went on for an hour and a half. Those are man pads. Those are portable launchers.
So this is in response to Trump's Washington parade.
It's just what China, it's a flex of power. Putin was there, North Korea. They brought in intercontinental ballistic missiles, their tank systems, mine laying, underwater laser targets. That's air defense systems right there, and acquisition, surface to surface, drone technology, from skiff boats to underwater. Here's our ICBMs, our nuclear warheads. Their answer to the C-5 Galaxy, the E-2C Hawkeye. All they do is rip off our technology. Fulcrums, MiGs, everything. So it's impressive, right? It's impressive. But I want to explain to you. If China and Russia joined forces, we would absolutely fucking obliterate them. This is very similar to Soviet Russia, Cold War Russia, Soviet bloc, is a lot of these systems are untested. A lot of these are mock-ups. Yes, they have a very strong military. It's the third largest military in the world. But that's like saying that Bill Putnam was on the same level of actor as Morgan Freeman because he also won an Oscar. The United States, there are military units and countries with militaries. Then there's Russia, England, China, Germany, France, India, Pakistan, South Korea. And those are large, excellent militaries. And then you have global dominance, the United States of America. The reason why the United States of America is the most powerful military in the world, full stop, is because we can navigate the blue water that nobody else can. The deep blue water, deep water, the dark blue. That water is like controlling the air. And Russia and China are very good at the coastal operations. But deep water, blue water exercises, there is nobody better than the United States of America. We have the best sub-hunting. We have the best evasion techniques. We have the fastest vessels. Our vessels don't need to refuel. Our vessels are lethal killing machines and have over-the-horizon targeting like no other. And if you even want to scratch the surface of our air superior, our sea superiority, you're going to have to get past our air superiority. Here are the numbers. Active personnel inside the United States of America, 1.3 to 1.33 million. 2.3 million in China. A lot of those are boys, young men, no combat experience. Reserve forces, we have 762,000. They have 510, making our total about 2.1 million to 2.5 million. So although they have a 400,000 advantage on personnel, and we will be done in just 2 minutes. Defense budget is $250 billion, and they're boosting it to $470 billion, but they still have absolutely no energy solutions. And energy is where their military sucks. They have their 9 major cities that they fuel and that they run electrical to, but their energy infrastructure is shit, and they have to import all their energy, which makes it very, very easy. You blockade China and Russia, and you go ahead and split them down the middle, and you take eastern Russia and northwestern China, China will be dead in 9 months. They'll eat their own. They will burn through all their oil reserves, all their fuel and energy reserves, and their cities will darken. Aircraft. They have 1,200 fighters, 3,000 aircraft. The United States has 13,043 with 1,800 fighters. And our fighters are 5th-gen fighters. They don't have a 5th-gen fighter. Our entire F-22 and F-35 squadrons could kill the entire Chinese military's air force. And they wouldn't even enter China. Tanks, 4,600. They have 6,800. Naval fleet, we have 440 vessels. They have 754, and they're all diesel. We have nuclear carriers. We're faster, stronger. We can get anywhere in the world. And more importantly, we have naval bases all over the world. So we can deploy and be anywhere in the world that we want to within 72 hours. We have 11 carriers. They have 3. Nukes, they have 600. We have 3,700. 5,200 in total that are non-deployed. Last points. China has numerical superiority in active personnel and tanks, which are useless because you have to travel over the sea, and logistically they can't get them here. but we absolutely decimate them in air and naval tonnage, sophistication, and global power projection. Air power, the U.S. has both more aircraft and greater diversity of roles and capabilities. The mission, the AORs of our aircraft, are multifunctional. China's Navy is rapidly expanding toward blue water capabilities, but U.S. naval dominance remains grounded in experience, tonnage, and overseas presence. You may be able to take out 1 or 2 of our carriers, but then you have 9 more to take care of who can independently run a war against every single country in this world simultaneously. Our 9 aircraft carriers could literally go to war with every continent. That's how devastating our super carriers are. On the nuclear front, the U.S. maintains a much larger and more mature arsenal, but China's arsenal is expanding the fastest in percentage of terms and growing complexity, but our delivery systems are far superior to China's, including our stealth technology. So everybody relax on China. They're very good at marching. They're very good at holding guns to people's heads to make them all step in accordance. But the United
Or threatening family members.
But the United States is... We've been spending almost $1 trillion on our national defense for 20 years. We are so far ahead of the game. And all this rumor about hypersonic missiles and 6th-generation fighters, you don't win wars that way. You win wars with money and energy. And the United States has an abundance of both. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Liv, put the last one in. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right. This one actually came via snail mail from Mike Roch. Thank you very much. We
Thanks,
really
Mikey.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. We had a hat ordered and some coffee. Got the hat that'll be leaving tomorrow. And the Documents of Freedom, remember, that's going to be shipping on the 15th, 17th, 18th, somewhere around there. We'll be back tomorrow. When are we back? 7
You're
o'clock.
tomorrow with Leroy. Liv, what does he mean by number deployed? When you're talking about nuclear weapons, he said number of deployed. What is? Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Deployable means that they are portable.
Oh, okay.
So our intercontinental ballistic missile systems that we have and the delivery systems are multiple complexity, like in the sense that we have our fixed silos that are non-deployable in the sense that they are fixed and they will not move. But those only make up 1/5 of our entire nuclear arsenal. Our nuclear arsenal is deployable through bombers. It's deployable through intercontinental travel, past stratosphere. It is able to, I can't go into any other detail. It's deployable by submarines through certain missile delivery systems. It's deployable from guided missile cruisers and Tomahawk-based missiles. It's deployable by the Moab. It's deployable by the GBU-57, a gravity bomb unit, which is bunker busters. You can deploy nukes, small tactical nukes that we have that can be actually man portable. We have surface to surface shoulder fired nuclear capability. The United States of America can deploy its nukes more effectively and with more lethality than anyone else on the planet. Hands down. The United States Navy is the most lethal force on the planet. And that's because they control deep water. Russia can't even get within 700 miles of our coastline. We know where they are. The moment they leave Petropavlovsk, Severomorsk, Vladivostok, the Polyarny Inlet, all of our hunter-killers know. And our boomers are all in the transatlantic without being known where they're at. Their subs are so far behind ours. And same with China. The deep water capabilities of the United States of America is what sets us apart from the rest of the world. Period. Yeah. That's a perfect example. It's like boxing versus, it's not even boxing. It's like Taekwondo versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's just not even the same realm. And we are fighting on a different level. Like they're fighting in 2D, we're fighting in 3D. Okay? All right, I got to go. All right. Olivia, love you. Thank you.
Love you.
We're at 9:30. That's good enough. I knew we were going to be a little late tonight. Thank you for the donations.
Yes,
Folks, please
you.
like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And do we have a guest coming?
We have Barry coming next Monday.
Next Monday, Barry's coming, and then we're open, aren't we?
And then we've got Michelle.
Yeah. Michelle Q.
Esquire.
Michelle Esquire is coming, and we're going to learn her name before she gets here. We're working on it. If you want to be on the Don't Unfriend Me Show, you can be on the show. If you know somebody who wants to be on the Don't Unfriend Me Show, help them connect by going to olivia@thedumbshow.com. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for everything you do. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Night, y'all.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.